It's the process of getting to know people. That's what photography is to me. It's about paying attention, not screwing up and blowing a great opportunity. His fascination with photography and his concern for social justice developed in his childhood town of Dorchester, Massachusetts. After earning a degree in literature and journalism, he joined the group Vista, where he was assigned to a healthcare advocate in eastern Arkansas. He has been a longtime member of Magnum Photos and has published 16 books that deal with the social issues such as drug addiction, mental health, poverty, breast cancer, and HIV/AIDS. He's most known for his published books and various exhibitions. The connection that he is able to have with his subjects while still remaining uninvolved is a remarkable trait of his photos that has won him many awards. Some awards include the Guggenheim Fellowship in 1980, the W. Eugene Smith Memorial Award in 1981, and more recently, the Amnesty International Media Award for Photojournalism. He has worked as a freelance photographer for magazines including Life, Time, Newsweek, and Esquire. His approach is both personal and descriptive. Richard is able to capture emotion in an intimate way. He prefers up-close subjects with natural lighting. Richard used a documentary approach to his work in a black and white format. He captures things as they are without his intrusion. The photographs were published in one of Eugene Richard's 16 published books. Each book holds a similar theme, and much of Richard's work is categorized in this way. The photographs used were accompanied with text of various sources, and each portray an in-depth view on the subject at hand and the social implications that they have. This photograph shows three men relaxing on their front porches. The men are sitting on tattered couches and armchairs, with bottles and tires displayed within the frame. This photo was taken in the years during his volunteer assignment with Vista, and was later published in his first book, Few Comforts or Surprises, in 1973. This is where he furthered his interest in documenting life as it is in a particular moment in time. These men were from the community in Arkansas that Richard volunteered for. The photograph is interesting because the subject seems to be looking directly at the photographer, despite his usual ability to blend into the background. The black and white format makes the scene dramatic, and the two-point perspective of the corner of the house is in the center of the frame and draws the eye outward towards the edge of the Shot in his usual black and white format, this image taken during his late wife Dorothy Lynch's struggle with breast cancer. During this troubling time for the duo, Richard documented the personal moments as Lynch wrote of her experiences. In 1986, the two mediums were published together in his book, Exploding into Life. He received some criticism for this series of work because some felt he documented a woman's disease that he couldn't possibly understand, despite his personal struggle as well as his wife. It appears that a wide lens was used, as it is a favorite with the photographer. This allowed for dramatic view for the moment. He captures his wife in this image in the right side of the frame. The subject takes up half the frame because Richard shoots near his subjects. It evokes emotions because her expression of sickness and sad demeanor are captured in this upsetting and genuine moment. This photo was taken during the time Richard spent documenting the American drug war. Richard used a series of photos to show how drugs affect everyone's daily life in not just these neighborhoods, but America as a whole. The series of photographs come from East New York, North Philadelphia, and the Red Hook Housing Project in Brooklyn, New York. They were published alongside Richard's words about his experience in the book Cocaine True, Cocaine Blue, published in 1994. This image is thought-provoking for multiple reasons. The subject and details of the image show a young mother using drugs while her child lies in the opposite end of the bed. The perspective used by the photographer shows the distance between the two subjects and indicates the neglect that often comes with long-term drug use. The frame of the image is slanted, which gives a more dramatic feel to the scene. This photograph captures a moment in time as people cool off with water on a city street. Published in American Way in 1994, this book consists of the subjects Richard has encountered over his photojournalism career. This particular image captures time in a unique way. The water is frozen in time in two sections of the image. The circular path of the water being thrown from the young girl suggests to the eye the movement of the image. In contrast, the straight water path draws the eye to the right and up. This is a slightly distant image as compared to Richard's other work. I believe this is done in order to capture the movement of the scene in a more accurate way. Despite the apparent heat at the time of the image, the scene is not particularly sunny. This plays on the emotions of being from a poor community and only seeking comfort from the heat with a fire hydrant. This portrays the troubled times for many families in that area. This photograph and the series of images similar to it were published in 2008 and was entitled The Blue Room. This book was different from his other books in that these images were captured in color, not in his typical black and white. The subjects of the book were the abandoned and long-forgotten buildings along the back roads of America. Richard was able to express the emptiness of the homes with the use of the naturally dark colors and atmosphere. This image is shot from above with dramatically dark lighting. The image suggests fond memories of a once occupied home and the subject of the old bicycle. Contrasting the pleasant feelings of family memories is the presence of death as shown by the animal bones that lay near the bicycle. These two drastic emotions that are portrayed mimic what happened to these once lively and happy homes. This next photograph is also from a series of images from the Blue Room. Color is used in this image to draw attention. The complementary colors of the orange chair in the corner and the dull blue of the abandoned background draw the eye around the image. All of the colors are dull and old because of the subject that is being captured. Even still, the contrasting colors are powerful. It is interesting to think of this work if it had been shot in the photographer's signature black and white format. For this particular image, the colored shot seems to be a more effective choice. Without the use of complementary colors in the frame, the scene would be somewhat lost. The eye needs an interesting anchor, and the orange chair does just that for the viewer. Eugene Richards is a very talented photographer, and one can learn a lot from his moving images.